Hey family, I'm coming to you today from Expert Pest Control. We added to our library to give you some tips on, prevention and, treating a small problem, so that don't have to, call out, call the law. What that's us, the law, every time something go down. But, sometimes if you let it get there, you just got to call somebody and we happy to serve you. But I'm talking about mice today, and this gonna have to be a two-part video because this is a big one. This is a big one. Now we done seen some of everything, you know. We ain't judging, we done seen, from hoarder houses to the places immaculate, and you still, you can get them, you can get mice in there or a rat or something can come in. And that's just part of being a homeowner or a business. So mice travel, they all over. There ain't nowhere where mice don't go. People say, "Oh, you live out in that," they get mice too. So what you want to do is, first of all, make sure that you don't have cracks, crevices under your doors. That you don't leave, doors open all the time. The mice will walk in while you're bringing in the groceries. You prop the door open, and they're like, okay, we coming in too. You got to attach the garage. Okay, we coming in too. So they can get in. They can come in through the attic, so you want to have cracks and crevices sealed. Make sure your house is sealed. We do that. It's called an exclusion. They come, and so what they looking for is food and shelter. Same thing. We all connected. And so they coming in to get food and shelter. So what we have to do is make sure that they not coming into your house to stay rent free, because they will come in. So I'm finna talk to you a little bit now, just like Mama would. It's just me and you here. The first thing you need to do is you're gonna need to clean up. You hear me? Now, okay, you're gonna need to sweep every day. You're gonna need to get up. If you're the type of family that eat food all over the house, you're gonna need to take that plate in the kitchen, break it out, put it in the sink. You're gonna need to not have garbage filled up and overflowing. You're gonna need to sweep and vacuum. If you got carpet or if you got wood floors, you're gonna need to sweep. You'd be surprised how much stuff can accumulate if you go 2-3 days without sweeping. It's like foodtopia for the mice. Crumbs, you dropping stuff, you don't even know it. And so that builds up, and that's food for them to eat. So, and that even helps us out if you get to the point where mice is running through there, and we say, well, listen, we got to work together because they not finna go for our stuff, the poison and all that, because they got too much food to eat. Your kid got a, Happy Meal under the bed. So you gonna need to clean up. So that's the one, so cleanliness or whatever. Now some people say, hey, my place is immaculate or whatever. That means something got in, you got something sealed. You could have had left a door open, or you got a screen that's got a hole in it, or you got doors that ain't closing all the way behind you. You got gaps in your garage if it's attached, and they coming in. You got holes around the house. We look for that, and holes around the roof. We look for that when we come. So you need to check out all these places, because this is how they can come in. And you just need to make sure your house is sealed up, and you make sure you got some kind of level of cleanliness. You need to pull out the stove every now and then, sweep under there, the refrigerator, under there, places where people are eating. It's important. I know my grandmother used to say cleanliness is next to godliness, and when your dirtiness is next to the mice and the rats. That's what that is. So that's the way I'm talking to you. And I'm telling you this stuff, so we have a talk with people, because it's a partnership, to get rid of the mice, because people they get upset. They say, and then there's other things. Your pantries, we keep stuff from restaurants or whatever. So your pantries, you need to have all your rice and your flour and all of this stuff. It need to be on high shelves. It need to be put in different containers, if you can, sealable containers. Remember the Tupperware parties, stuff like that. That has some meaning to it. Put it in sealed containers where something can get. Dog food, the dog eating the food going all over around, and it just sit there all day. Okay, that's Micetopia. Like, oh, it's the buffet. We coming for the buffet. They put out food every day for the dog and us too. So you got to make sure that they, spilling food all around there and it ain't there for 3 days when the mice is walking and they're like, hey, there goes some food over there. So these is all things we need to, check on when we are, saying what's going on. I saw mice. That could be an isolated incident. The mice might have just come in the door when you was bringing in the groceries and had the door prepped open. But you don't want it to get in there and have babies. Be mindful if you buying things from stores, bags, warehouses. They have they have mice. You could have a packages and be bringing them in with the Amazon. Boo. I'm sorry. I ain't mean to be saying that. With a package company, any package company, it ain't got to be them. Anytime you get a package coming to your door, it could open that box. It could have a mouse in it. When you buy mattresses from places, I specifically wouldn't buy no mattress from no warehouse if it's not covered or nothing. People selling stuff, because mice, they are breeding the mattresses. Do not put mattresses out in your garage and just sit them out there behind the building, and because that's a nest coming or whatever. Because they living out there. They are out there. People can say, oh, they around your house. So when you put something out there and it sit out there for 3 days or whatever, they can have a litter of mice in that mattress, in the warehouse, in the back of. So this is the stuff we tell you about. Now I'm gonna have the master tech to come on. I'm just talking to you like mama, because I had to, we had to have a talk. I had customers I had to call and say, listen, they say, these mice, and as you're gonna say, ma'am, you got a house full of stuff here, and you're going to either need junk removal, which we do that too, to get rid of some stuff you've been had in here since back in 66. And we can't even see the walls. So we don't know if it's holes in the wall, where they're coming from. We can't see it because we can't get to it. So you better believe it's some mice going through it. And they try to stay away from you. So you ain't going to see them. Most of the time, but when you get so much junk in there, now you're gonna see them. They get bolder and they just start coming out. So they want to get rid of the stuff. So now he coming in. I'm gonna do a part 2, and he gonna show you what you can do and what not to do. All right.